Hello everybody and welcome back to Benjamin Magnus Plays Kerbal Space Program. Last episode we had a disastrous attempt to try to beat up with an asteroid, so this episode I decided to go in a slightly different direction. We're going to attempt to put a refueling station in orbit. This is not anything I've ever been successful at. I did just try a couple times and utterly failed, so you might be treated to a disaster montage in this episode as well. But I'm going to basically try to construct a small refueling space station, and then I'd probably build a very, very similar looking booster section below it to get it into orbit. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, here we are. I have relatively high hopes for this. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll find out in a second. Alright, here we are, another attempt. I've tried a bunch of times now, and I keep getting almost to orbit, and then just running out of fuel when I need just, you know, like 100, 150 more meters per second to achieve a stable orbit, and just running out of juice, basically. So we're gonna give this a shot. Oh boy, do those barely have enough oomph to get me off the ground, but hopefully it'll be enough to make a difference. So I'll be back in a second, see if we can make it in orbit. Okay, we made it. We are in orbit over Kerbal with our first ever space station. Now, it doesn't look like much right now, but we'll make it a little more space station-y in just a second. We'll get rid of the back half here. Look how much fuel I had left, by the way, too. I hit orbit, and I had maybe a second or two of fuel left. It was just barely enough. So we're going to detach that. And now we are going to extend my panels. Now, I know I haven't really dealt with, what do they call it, like reaction group or action groups before. I'm not really sure how action groups work. But I know you can set it up to, you know, activate and deactivate things all at once. Okay, so now we have our... With the photovoltaic panels out, it looks a little bit more like a space station. This is our docking port right here, so the goal is going to be to get in orbit with a ship, and then what I could do is I could dock with the station here, who has, you know, a big old fuel tank right here and a bunch of monopropellant. And what I can do is then transfer, I think you click on like one thing and then right click on another thing or something like that. And you can transfer fuel from one spacecraft to the other. So now I'll be able to, alright, now that the light's showing up, it's starting to look pretty cool. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is I'll be able to dock with this and transfer fuel to my spaceship and then, you know, be on my way. And what I can actually do if I want to is I can build sections onto this by, you know, building another section with a port and connecting them right here, and then I'll be able to build the space station piece by piece. It's pretty cool. I've never done this before, so this is new and uncharted territory for me. Let's take a look at our orbit. 98,000. So it's a little bit more eccentric than I would like it. I can fix that if I want to, because I'd like it to be as even as possible, which would mean to make it, I would need to either burn prograde this way or retrograde this way. And I can do that because I do have RCS thrusters. If I turn them on, you can see I can get my ship to, let's point them in a direction. Got them all over the place, so I have a lot of really good control over my ship. Can roll it pretty easily if I wanted to. And that's going to be important when it comes time to dock it, dock with other ships, because sometimes it might be easier to orient this ship in a specific direction than orient the other one, and vice versa. So now I'll have the option to move this guy around all I want. And hopefully the debris will float off and I won't have to deal with it too much. But we have a space station and we have a refueling station in orbit now. That is the first time I've ever done that, and I'm pretty happy with it. It didn't cost me too much money. We can actually go back to our space center now. I didn't look at the cost of it, but I don't think it was that expensive. See in a second. I had 300 something. I think I had about 300,000, so it wasn't that much. Maybe 50,000 Kerbal credits, Kerbing credits, whatever they're called. Now what I think I'm going to do is probably pick up one of these. Explore Dune, Explore Eve, Explore Ike. Figure out which one of these I want to do, and try to build a spacecraft to accomplish one of these. And what I can do is you put a docking port on that spaceship, and then I'll be able to dock with my space station and refuel if I need to. That way I don't have to launch as much fuel into orbit, and it'll make things easier for me. And it's going to drastically influence the design and construction of my next few ships. And here it is, right here. Oh no, that's called Booster 2 right now. Can I, vehicle classification. I wonder if I could rename it somehow. I double-clicked where I wasn't supposed to double-click. Okay, I guess I'll try to figure out that later. I'll try to set it up so it's classified as a space station, not a probe, and see if I can rename it something cool. So I'm going to call it an episode here with my beautifully simplistic space refueling station in orbit. If you've enjoyed this episode, drop me a like, leave me a comment, and if you're interested in more Benjamin Magnus Plays Kerbal Space Program, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.